funny thing, going back to that audition again.
Oh, yeah.
What you actually did is the three other guys in the band, I was like, yes, she was unreal, and we all knew it.
Yeah.
Yet the other three guys were so it's kind of like, oh, she's not. They didn't say it, and they probably didn't mean this. It was like you were too good, and you'd never want to be in this band, and you left. No, but that's not even true.
Yeah,
so
no, I know what
I'm
you mean.
saying,
Yeah.
So what a great trip.
Yeah.
I thought of it after. That's why I'll never forget it. I could audition in this town. I'm confident of myself.
Yep.
I really like to do.
Yep.
I've been, I could audition in every single act in this town in the next 3 months, and raise hell, and everyone would know who I am in 3 months. I can't work for you. Sorry. Well, you're good. That's what you sort of. It's a great trick.
Yeah.
Great trick to every 6 months just blast in and audition for every singing gig in the country, but I can't do it. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, you were great.
Okay, this is awesome. When do we need to book you? When can we,
Yeah, but otherwise you'd stay in that one act, that one band. So.
But this is why you've got to be open.
Was really cool,
And that's the thing. You've got to be open to be doing different things. Like 3 Sundays ago, I got asked to go sing with a jazz band, a big band up at this the indie, not the indie, whatever it's called now, weekend, and they did the weekend before. Did Dancing with the Cars, and friends of mine put it on, and Ollie, my friend, was just like, who was organising, said, look, I know you haven't really done some stuff with the big band, but these guys are great jazz musos, blah, 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 pick a couple of songs. And I'm like, okay, and lucky that, playing trumpet and everything, it's like I have, and I love my jazz music thanks to my dad. And when I'll do this, I did Caravan and Don't Get Around Much. And, it was a hoot. And even the guys were like, what do you normally do? And I said, sing in a rock band and I work in cabaret. And they're just like, what?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's
and
just
you've left an impression on them.
Yeah, yep. Exactly. You breeze in. They say, it's like getting a casting brief. Yeah. This is what you've got to do. This is your audience. This is what you're singing. Done. Sweet. Off you go. This is what you've got to dress or whatever, So.
Yeah. Let's talk about your mum and dad.
Okay.
Like what are they from, personally, no one's a musician in my family. So
wow.
For some reason, I just really got onto it, but
Mum's from Brisbane originally.
What part? Do you remember?
Hurston. She lived in Hurston because my grandparents were both nurses at the Brisbane Hospital. Yeah. And my grandfather was actually one of the first male nurses in Australia.
Wow.
And, so they were there. That's why in Hurston and everything. Mum went to the girls' grammar school up there and everything. Anyway, she was actually also one of the first scholarship holders at the Queensland Conservatorium of Music when it first opened.
Wow.
So she's an operetta singer, and she was all Gilbert and Sullivan Society and everything like that. So she was very theatre orientated. Then Dad,
does he speak like that?
Pretty much,
yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah,
she's a proper lady.
yeah. They're a breed in themselves.
Oh yeah, very much so, much so. But and then Dad is from Bathurst originally, and then he moved to Sydney, and Mum moved down to Sydney actually. Actually, Mum was also the secretary because she was also did all the secretary things back then because it was a different world, you know.
Yep.
She was a secretary for the Australian Treasurer way back in the 60s, and then she moved to Sydney after Canberra. I think something like that. Anyway, Dad was one of the advertising execs in Sydney. Had Rothmans, Harris Coffee, Playboy, all the big accounts. And so Mum ended up becoming his secretary, as it happens, back in the 60s.
Have you seen Mad Men?
Yes.
Sounds exactly like. Okay, keep going. Has she got really big boobs? No,
she doesn't.
Shut up.
My mum's tiny as my mum's like 5'0" and she's like this, like she's midget. Yeah. She's so small. I got Dad's side of the family. They're all
Draper.
Scottish.
Okay. Yeah, okay, cool.
Dad was taller than him and darker hair, and because Dad used to play for St George. He was an ex-rugby player.
Excellent.
Yeah, so he played pro football for years as well. But before that, he actually got offered, he was married first when he was 19, and he actually first got offered a recording contract way back, 19, whatever it was. And back then you had to have your partner, husband, wife's consent in order to go and record, go on tour. Dad's first wife wouldn't have a bar of it.
What a...
Yeah. So that obviously was, it's pretty shit.
Yeah, will be different times. Let's pretend.
Different times, totally
that could have
different
been
times.
the war era. That could have been.
Yeah, so Dad, because my father would have been
No, it would have been 50s.
70. Dad would have been 87 this year.
Right.
So, and he would have been 90. Yeah, I know, right? Maths. Damn it. It's above 4. Yeah, so probably 1930 something. No, 1940 something.
Sounds like you were born when they were about 50.
Mum was 43 when she had me. Dad was 53. Wow. Yeah. So I was total not meant to happen.
Wow.
At all. It was a very big like, what? Wow. In fact, they were going to get me aborted.
Wow.
Which I think is hilarious. But
how are you,
obviously
Charne?
not. Yeah.
Well, I'm alive, mother.
This is true. This is why it's quite funny, because Mum and I often joke about it. She's like, "No, we're not even meant to exist," and I'm like, "Oh,
Really?
Jesus!"
Isn't that strange?
I know. She's a very straightforward woman.
Yeah.
Gosh, where was I?
Yeah.
So that sort of happened. Anyway, long story short, Dad's first wife passed away, and after that, or when they divorced, met Mum and all that sort of thing. Anyway, worked out that they both had an interest in singing and performing and theatre. Ended up forming a duo act. Back then, it was, the thing, and sang with the Royal Australian Navy Band, did the carols, did all different performances. And
he met your mum and he could be himself.
Yep.
Imagine that.
Yeah, that's it.
Imagine that feeling of just, when you're with someone and they don't understand what you do.
Yeah. Yeah, and
I don't have that now, but
Yeah.
everyone's had that. I'm sure if you're a performer, like, what are you wasting your time rehearsal for?
Yeah.
You can't explain it.
What do you mean you're going to do what gig? Like,
Yeah. No, I just have to.
Yeah.
Have to be happy.
Yeah, exactly. But, so they ended up doing a bunch of stuff, touring, doing a bunch of shows together, musicals, here on tour. And then, because my grandparents had moved down here to the Gold Coast back in whatever it was. They were actually one of the very first caravans and houses on Mountain View Avenue.
Wow.
And there's photos of just sand and a caravan, and that's my grandparents' place. Yeah, so they were one of the first people to build in that area, and it's cool. And so they were here, and then obviously as time got on, they got older, and my grandfather passed away, and so my parents, Dad and Mum, moved up here, and they just stayed here because my grandmother was here, and then I was born. So that was that. So I mean, they've done so much. Like, I don't even know half the stuff, or I should have listened to Dad more with his stories. But as a teenager, I'm like, I just want to go to my room and listen to music.
No doubt. Okay, so. Will they be proud?
Yeah.
Honestly.
Mum doesn't say anything, but I hope that she is. I know that my father was extremely proud of me, so he always vocalised.
Yeah.
Which was great. But again, different world, different times,
I could tell you 3 people I know who had older parents. They're guys, but they're completely off the rails. It's like their parents were too old to control them.
Yeah, right.
So I kind of had that theory until you're telling me right now, like maybe there is an age where you sort of just you can't relate, or the parents can't relate to you, and
see, I guess maybe I had a different kind of thing, because because I started playing piano when I was 6, and I just kind of rolled on with the music stuff. And having parents that lived their lives, and the stuff and then when I was born, it was like the focus was and the attention was on me. I wasn't spoilt, don't get me wrong. Like, I had to earn my pocket money, trust me, but the rehearsals, lessons, stuff like that. If I wanted to start playing or start being in an orchestra, Dad would be like, cool, we'll work it out. We'll work out how we're going to get you there for rehearsals, get you there for concerts, how we're going to get this, that, but there was never any animosity or anything like that. If I wanted to do it, give it a red hot go. And then the support was there, which was really good. But it was from them coming from that as well, and knowing that just how awesome it is, and what a great environment. Like, as I say to many people, I grew up doing my homework underneath tables while my parents were in rehearsals, being looked after by the gay chorus men and drag performers and the Liberace impersonators. It was fascinating, interesting people. Like, I grew up with some fascinating people around. So
would that? Do you remember anywhere on the Gold Coast? particularly, like where they would sort of have you, you know? Because I'm kind of interested in Gold Coast history when it comes to that.
There's the Gold Coast Arts Centre. Mum and Dad did a few shows with Robert Young.
Yeah.
And so I knew him from when I was young.
Right.
And then I ended up in the children's chorus of Evita with him while Dad worked backstage because he's like, well, I'm here, I might as well do something. Ended up being a freaking stagehand because that's the thing, and that's one thing my father always I respected and saw in him was that he was, again, the sort of person that just hands-on, didn't matter what he'd done, didn't matter anything, just went, you know what? You want a hand? Yeah, sure, I'll jump in.
Yeah.
I'll jump in. I'll move stage stuff around. Oh, you know, I used to be a head ad exec and I used to play professional football and stuff.
Yeah.
What of it? You know, it was just get in there and help out. And
that's good.
he was a very, very humble, down-to-earth person.
Yeah.
Have a laugh, have a beer, sit with the boys at the Burleigh Bears Leagues Club. He used to do the ground announcing there when he got older and used to play with the old boys.
Yeah.
You know, he'd go and do that, but then go and drop me off at rehearsal and go have a chat to the conductors and, you know, all that sort of thing. So
maybe it's washed off on you. Because,
I think so, yeah.
We did our first gig together on Sunday and I thought, oh, geez, I hope, you know, you came to the audition, you just blasted us and you were so good. You had a beer, you know, we were swearing, we were talking to band talk and I could tell, okay, no, you know your stuff, particularly in bands. There's great singers that haven't been in bands, and it's a whole different, you know, thing
when
to
they've
deal
worked
with.
By themselves.
Yeah, you don't want to upset anyone in the little tribe.
Yeah.
So I was thinking before you went on stage, like, you know, is diva, I guess is the word. You know, I hope that there was none of that with you. No one. It was not like he's the bass player's in my space or any of this.
Fuck no.
No,
if anything, I'm like using my peripherals, going, okay, I'm going to hit my head. I'm down.
Yeah, you can tell you were just. In the band.
Yeah, and that's it. And like, you know, and that's another thing, is having respect for your fellow performers and having a respect and for them and what they're doing as well. And I don't think there's enough of that. There's not enough of that in the industry. Be it, you know, around here, be it professionally, I mean, not that we're not professional, but, you know, be it on the bigger scale and whatnot. Yeah. There are some people that still do it, but it just gets back to those old values.
Yeah.
You know, there's too many freaking people that just think they're top shit and aren't, and just want to railroad people. Yeah, you know,
I'm surprised they even last.
Yeah, so am I, but they seem to, which really pisses me off.
Wow, see, you would definitely be in another world to me. Like, definitely on the coast. I haven't auditioned really for anything. Yeah, but I can imagine there's it's a funny scene that performing world. You do have so many people who think small problems are big problems and cause huge scenes.
Massively. There was an incident I had, no, I didn't have it, but I just witnessed it last week when I did a different gig, and it was a corporate function, and same thing. Like, I witnessed that, and I'm like, oh, for Christ's sake, lady, just calm the fuck down. Like, seriously, it's not the end of the world, and you're going to sort it out. Yeah. It's okay. And it was done. Yeah, right. And she had 5 minutes to spare. Yeah. And I'm like, see, I was like going, really? Right. I think also because I just think in the last probably 10 years, I guess, since my father passed away, I had 10 years ago, I had my father and my godfather pass away within a week of each other, which was really crap, yeah. And obviously you go through a lot of emotions, you go through a lot of things, and I did for a very long time. And I think when you have stuff like that happen to you, it puts a shitload of things in perspective. And when you come around and think about it and you work it out in your own head, it's like there are bigger things to worry about and stress about, or there's just not anything to worry about and stress about, you know? Yeah. You just got to keep moving forward and doing what you want to do and making yourself and your soul satisfied. Yeah. That's what it is, making yourself happy. If you're doing things for other people makes you happy, by all means, go ahead, you know? Yeah. And I think from that, and then, I mean, as we said before, with Prosser and everything in this year, like, it's just been a really shit year for me. I've had 4 friends of mine commit suicide. And and the recent one was only last week as well. Yeah, wow. And it's just creatives. They're all creatives, which is just really... It's really hit home, and, you know, because this is, I think I'm going to reveal to you a lot of things right now. Like last year I got diagnosed with ADHD, adult ADHD, which my friends are like, well, yeah, duh. Okay. But, you know, and it's, I was like, well, no, this actually, now I know why I was like, why I'm like the way I am and everything like that. Yeah. And then, you know, I've been seeing different psychologists over the last 10 years and stuff because, you know, being a muso, being creative, your head works differently.
Yeah.
Everything works differently.